Hi there, Zeno here. Welcome to my channel. In the past 5 or so years, I've been making these simple fingerstyle guitar arrangements of the hymns. Initially, I created these as learning materials for my one-on-one students so that not only will they be able to learn how to play fingerstyle, they can also bless others with these songs that they're learning. But I also quickly found out that a lot of people actually find this useful for their churches. So I'm making a new series of tutorial videos teaching people how to play these simple fingerstyle hymn arrangements. This specific video is geared towards beginners, and I teach you in great detail how to play this arrangement. Make sure to subscribe if you don't want to miss anything, or better yet, join my newsletter. To get started, a good thing to do is always look at the big picture first. So just looking at this, I already know it's in the key of G, because it starts in G, and if it also ends in G, it's 99% probably key of G. That also tells us that the main chords are going to be G, C, and D. Those are your common chords in the key of G. And for this one, you also have an A minor 7 here. So it's a good idea to kind of just briefly look at the chords and see if there's anything you need to work on, before you even get started. After that, it's a good idea to look at the time signature and the rhythm information. So it's 4/4. It means that there's going to be 4 beats in a measure, and a quarter note gets a beat. So here's beat 1, beat 2, beat 3, beat 4. So beat 1 is subdivided into 2. So we have 2 8 notes here, 1 and beat 2, 2 and we got 3, 4. So it's good to just be able to read these simple rhythms so you don't have to practice with video or audio. Bar 2 is 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4. Bar 4 is 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's a half note right there, which is 2 beats. This is 1, 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. So just looking at it rhythmically, it's very simple. Next is to look at the other information that we have here. So on the top is your right hand information. And just looking at the overall picture, and just looking at where the notes are at, it looks like for all of the song, the whole song, we are in what I call position 1, where my ring finger is in charge of the high E string, middle is always going to be on the B string, and index is going to be on the G string. And then my thumb is going to play the bass notes on the E string, A string, and D string. Now this is great because now you don't have to think about what finger to use. If the note is on the G string, index finger. If it's on the high E string, ring finger. If it's on the A string, thumb. Okay, so again, less things for you to think about as you're working on this song. Okay, so let's start with bar number 1. So here in bar number 1, we are starting with a G chord. And here on the bottom, you have left hand information. So that's for your left hand. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. So here we have finger number 3, which is our ring finger, on the 3rd fret, low E string. There you go. And we got 3 notes here. So thumb, index, middle. Remember, each finger on the right hand has specific string they're responsible for. So that's it. Next, we have an open D string. It's on the D string, so thumb, and open G, and open B. So this whole section right here is simply... Now, after beat 2, we have this, which is... So, second finger to play this note, and first finger to play that note. And again, here are your right hand fingering information. So thumb for this one, index for that one, and then middle for that one. Okay, next, beat 4, we have just open strings. Okay, so real simple. Let's play the whole bar. Bar number 1. Great. Now, I am keeping my ring finger here the whole time. I'm not removing it when I go to that C chord. I'm not going. I'm just letting it ring out the whole time. Okay, let's go to bar number 2. So in bar number 2, we have a D chord. Now, you might be used to playing D this way with the full shape, but with fingerstyle, you don't want to use all your fingers all the time. You just want to use the fingers that you need. So in this case, we just need a bass note and a melody note. So we just need one note right here. But I did notate that we're going to use the second finger instead of the index for this one. Since we're coming from the G, it's a lot easier to just kind of use that middle finger. And, you know, in the key of G, we go to C a lot. So I just reserve that index finger to play this whenever we play C. And it's easy to just go G, D this way. So bar 2 is bass note melody on beat 1. And then beat 2 is just, again, it's very simple. So I think by now you can read it on your own. That's beat 2. Beat 3 is just open. And then again back to that second fret G string. So if you notice, the whole time for D, you're just holding this chord shape. Okay, so again, the whole of beat 2 would be, if I read the rhythm, it would be 1, 2, and 3, 4. All right, let's go to bar number 3. The rhythm is the same, 1, 2, and 3, 4. But the notes are closer to measure 1, to bar 1. So this should be easy for you. Okay. All right, so that's just 1, 2, and 3, 4. Okay, quite simple. I've already explained most of the fingerings because it's the same as this one. And the rhythm is the same as bar 2. Let's go to bar number 4. Now in bar number 4, it's even more simple. It's just a D chord, and then the rhythm is just going 1, 2, 3, 4. So again, for that D, we're gonna use our middle finger. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now you see this repeat sign. This means that you're gonna go back to the measure that has this repeat sign, and that is measure 1. So we're gonna start from measure 1 all the way to 4, and then we're gonna repeat 1 again back to 4, and then we go to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so what I want you to see there is just the economy of motion. I'm not moving too much, both in my left hand and right hand. Okay, there's no extra movements there. So that's something that you want to work on. Now let's go to bar number 5. Hey, real quickly before we continue, if you like this kind of content, make sure to subscribe and also to leave me a comment below. Let me know what you think. Also, if you want to dig deeper into my kind of fingerstyle, then I have an academy where you can access all my fingerstyle courses. You can attend live events where I teach you fundamentals and also how to make your own arrangements in a private and safe community with fellow learners like yourself, as well as access all my interactive hymn tabs. So here in bar number 5, we're back to a G chord, but this time the melody is on the high E string. And we're using all our fingers, thumb, index, middle, ring. There you go. That's the first chord. And we're gonna go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So that's just 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Now this section of the song is probably the hardest because there is this stretch on between the ring finger and the middle finger, right? So from here you're going, right? And you might be thinking, why not just use your index finger? It's just a lot easier. And true, it is a lot easier, but you're gonna need that index finger on the next chord, and if I'm going to use my index finger here, you can hear the choppiness of the sound. I mean, it'll work, but there's a choppiness to it. So listen to this. Right? There's that dat. I think it's a lot more smooth if you use your middle finger instead, so that now you're ready to play this note with your index finger. So something like this. Now, of course, you can still use your index finger if you prefer to do that. All right. So this section, though, is probably the hardest part of the song. Once you get this down, everything else is quite easy. Now, if you have a problem playing this section because of the stretch, I would recommend looking at how you're holding the guitar. So there's a couple common reasons why you may not be able to do this. Number one is maybe you're holding the guitar this way, and which really just makes it even harder to do the stretch. So make sure to put the thumb behind the neck. And another common problem or a common thing is maybe you're overextending your wrist down here, which makes it hard as well. And lastly, maybe you're over curling that ring finger like this, when you really don't need to curl that ring finger. You can just play it flat. So when I'm playing this bass note here, my ring finger is actually quite flat. And honestly, I don't really need the A string and D string, so it's okay if you're touching those strings with the flesh of your ring finger. So my suggestion is to slow down, relax, and make minor adjustments, right, to the way that you're holding the guitar, to the way that you're playing the notes. And try to figure out, always try to answer the question, how can I play this in a way that is the most economical and in a way that has the least amount of tension? If you're always trying to figure that out, then you're closer to the right technique. Okay, let's go to bar number 6. Now here's something that I want you to learn as well. You don't need to put the full chord shape before you play, because if you look at it, you really only need the bass note and this note on beat 1 or half of beat 1, and then you need this note next. So if I play this slow, you'll see that I put my fingers like one at a time, only when I need them. So from here, I'm going. See, I didn't even put my pinky until the very last beat 3 here. Bar 7, we go to a D7 chord. All right, so just form the chord shape first. You can also look at the chord box here to see how it's formed. All right, so this is a section that you might have to work on as well. The way to do this is just to keep your middle finger on the 2nd fret and index finger on the 1st fret B string the whole time. Okay, so again, let me play this section slow. Okay, bar 8, it's just back to that G chord and then just open strings. That's quite simple. Bar 9. Again, really simple stuff here. You've gone through the hard part already. Bar 10. And we got to stretch again. Right? So stretch right here. And yes, keep that ring finger there. Right? Don't remove it when you get to this part. You don't go. You want that ring finger to be ringing out. Right? So this section you might have to slow down and practice specifically. Okay. Then lastly, bar 11. Okay. And then bar 12. Okay. that's it.